Story 1. A niche, but if you grow flowers for florists, you can make good money. It is my first year, but we sold a bunch of zinnias on demand and to florists this year, along with a few thousand specialty sunflowers. The sunflowers are pretty much hands-off once they are planted with drip line. They quickly suppress weeds. We are selling them to florists at $1.50 per stem and have made a few $1,000s only a few weeks into the blooms. The rest are all spoken for before they have even bloomed, and we're set to bring in about $30,000 in flower sales this year. And it was just a test year. Our local competitors, whom we will compete with next year, make a few $100,000 a year via florist sales, direct sales, and pick your own. Story 2. I know someone who cleans up dog waste in yards. He charges a lot, has a set list of clients, and works a few days a week. Apparently, some people would rather pay someone to clean up after their dog than do it themselves. Story 3. I am earning $42 per hour driving city buses, plus benefits. The team that makes and installs bus stop signs earns almost $60 per hour. Metro Vancouver, Canada. Story 4. Ditch digger. I make $46 per hour, with almost unlimited overtime and a $65 per day bonus for being on call. There is a minimum of 3 hours pay if the on-call phone rings, 1.5 times pay after 8 hours in a day, and double pay after 12 hours. You get sent home after 13.5 hours if the day goes that long. It is pretty easy to make $150,000 to $200,000 per year if you are reliable. Story 5. I worked as a wastewater treatment plant operator for 30 years. Holidays and overtime were paid generously. We would have tours with school children, and one boy, after smelling the place, said to me, "You should make $1 million. The wisdom of children is surprising." Story 6. Union sprinkler fitter. Fire protection, not irrigation. Easily $100,000 on the paycheck with no overtime. Total package is worth almost $100 per hour. Pension, supplemental pension, health care, company vehicle. Story 7. Elevators. I have a high school diploma and made $187,000 last year. I am on pace to earn over $200,000 this year. Story 8. A lot of these threads are about how plumbers, welders, linemen, and machine operators make great money, and they do, but I'm going to offer a little contrast. I am a dental service technician, essentially a mechanic for dentists. You need to be personable, able to work independently, and have basic mechanical proficiency. No other requirements. Henry Schein will hire an entirely green technician, provide basic training, start at $45,000, and that person will have a 40-hour-a-week job, working in mostly clean indoor environments with good benefits and an annual 3% raise. After 3 years, they can move to Benco or Midwest for a 10% raise and earn between $55,000 and $60,000, then do it again in a few years. After the third move, they will be earning between $80,000 and $100,000 for mostly easy indoor work. Plumbers with my amount of experience will make more money than I do, but they also work harder. This is a key point. You do not actually have to be skilled to be a dental service technician. It helps, but over the years I have seen many coworkers prove that competence is not a requirement. Story 9. Industrial maintenance technician. I completed less than 2 years in the technology program, am not particularly mechanically inclined, and got hired at a union brewery with great benefits, easily making over $100,000 a year. Honestly, 90% of the time I am just hanging out in the office reading books. There are occasional challenging moments, but mostly it is easy work. Story 10. Here's what I realized. The jobs that are the most undesirable or hard to do pay very well. Anything that the media glorifies actually is not a good job because many people want to get into it, so you are probably overworked or will not get in. Story 11. Boiler room foreman. Not sure if this is the right job title, but if you are the person legally responsible for a boiler room, at least where I live, you get paid well. I have heard $250,000 or more in New York City for the school custodian in charge. I should quit my teaching job. Story 12. Court reporters regularly make over $100,000 and are needed everywhere. Many people believe large language models will take over the job. We have had speech-to-text technology for a long time. Large language models are not new speech-to-text engines. The more important issue is that you need someone who is clearly neutral, someone who can testify they were present and recorded every word. Justice is a human construct, and it is hard to imagine an appellant who would not challenge every flaw they could find in a software-generated transcript, though the future is difficult to predict. Story 13. Biomedical Equipment Technician. Fix medical equipment in hospitals typically requires a 2-year degree. I started slightly above $30 per hour and now make over $40 per hour working on radiology equipment. It is similar to information technology, but with only a small part of the job involving computers. There is a 2-year degree specific to the industry, but with the manpower shortage, it is not a requirement. Many people have moved into this field with a regular 2-year technical degree of some kind. If you grew up taking things apart and figuring out how they work, then this is a perfect job to continue developing that skill set. Like many other trades, not many people know about it, so there is good job security. Many people are retiring and not many are coming in. You need to be comfortable working around patients at times or working in the operating room, which can be stressful. The pay is good for a job that mostly involves working indoors in air conditioning during normal business hours, except for on-call duty. Story 14. Murder and suicide cleanup pays very well. I don't have numbers, but it is not a field most people want to enter. It involves hazardous materials and city contracts that nobody wants to examine closely. Story 15. Merchant mariners earn a significant income but are rarely home to spend it. Story 16. I am a firefighter in a mid-sized city. The starting salary is around $64,000 a year, with raises at 3 years and 5 years. Once you reach the 5-year mark, you earn $96,000 a year with union benefits, excellent health care, a pension, and about a month and a half of vacation time based on our schedule. If you like working overtime, you can easily make $120,000. Some overtime specialists make up to $170,000 a year, although I do not do that because it would require living at work. On top of it all, I spend about 90% of the time sitting on a couch watching television, and people generally like you, unlike the experience of being police officers. It is a great job if you can get hired. Without overtime, I work only 2 24-hour shifts a week, so I have a lot of free time if I choose to stay home. Story 17. Garbage collectors. Everybody underestimates that old garbage collector. I had always heard that the compensation was poor, but that is not true. I was told that my job would be a waste of time. I am glad I did not listen to them. I make over $70,000 a year without overtime. You get treated poorly and that stinks, but it is worth it for the paycheck. Story 18. This is more per hour than gross pay, but every piano tuner I have spoken with has discussed how good the work-life balance is and how, if they need more money, they just accept more jobs. They are turning down jobs because there simply are not enough hours in the day. A first-year tuner makes around $150 per hour, approximately $40,000 per year on average in a typical cost of living area, and can earn up to $80,000 per year as they establish regular clients or work in higher cost of living areas. Every time you research piano tuners, they emphasize how urgently needed they are. There was a post some time ago about an orchestra offering scholarships to people wanting to become tuners because there was not enough availability in the area. You might think there wouldn't be many people who want their pianos tuned. However, excluding the casual hobbyists who neglect tuning for 15 years, churches, schools, music professionals, concert halls, theaters, airports, hotels, and nursing homes all often have pianos that require tuning. Story 19. I would love to hear about someone who read one of these threads that pop up all the time and made the conscious decision to try to change their career. Story 20. A lot of manual labor work. I am a construction project manager, and we paid a worker $60 an hour one day. All he did was stand around waiting just in case we needed an operator during a concrete pour. Story 21. UPS driver. Made $180,000 last year driving over the road. Trying to hit $200,000 this year. I love my job. Story 22. Food distribution and sales. The dairy sales representatives in my area earn approximately $100,000 per year. Story 23. HVAC controls technician. No heavy lifting, mainly computer work. Work from home 1/3 of the time. Make $120,000 annually with extra from overtime. Company car provided. 6% 401k match. Some jobs pay premium rates where I can make $77 per hour for overtime or $103 per hour on double time, Sundays, and holidays. Story 24. Warehouse manager earning $210,000 per year. Never thought a career in warehousing and distribution would amount to that. Story 25. Medical monitor for human clinical trials. The benefits will amaze you. I had a school friend who used his daily food allowance to build an impressive liquor cabinet. Story 26. My husband earns $125,000 per year managing a butcher shop in Alabama. Even I am still surprised. Story 27. What frustrates me about these discussions is that high-paying jobs are often followed by, and you can get all the overtime you want, which implies that you are expected to work overtime to some extent without a choice. I do not agree with that. Where are the jobs that pay well and allow you to work exactly 40 hours a week and still have a life? I would not care about having money if it meant I have no time to explore and enjoy it. Story 28. Railroad engineer doing long hauls. CSX Transportation, BNSF Railway, Canadian Pacific Railway, Kansas City Southern Railway. Story 29. Being the spouse of a member of Congress can provide valuable information for trading stocks with winnings in the millions. So far, it does not appear to be illegal either. Story 30. Radiation therapists in California have an average starting salary of $120,000 after graduation. I made a video about it and am happy to have helped some people from Reddit get into school. We need more therapists. Story 31. I make $100,000 a year cleaning apartment and loft hallways and entrances. I work about 25 hours a week. My biggest stress is running out of podcasts to listen to. Story 32. Bartender. I earned $90,000 in recorded credit card tips and saved almost $35,000 in cash. I work 2 nights and 2 days a week. I have made many acquaintances, so whenever I want to leave bartending, I have options for what to do next. Story 33. Project management. Coordinate with vendors and adhere to budgets. Perform 16 to 20 hours of actual work at a desk in a 40-hour week and earn $120,000 to $150,000 in small projects or $200,000 or more in large projects. Story 34. Latent fingerprint examiner. Employed by a law enforcement agency. Union wages and extensive overtime. Story 35. I design high-voltage transmission lines. I have no formal education and earn $210,000 per year. Story 36. Railroad signal maintainer. Earn over $100,000 and work less than half the year. Story 37. Process operators at chemical plants earn between $150,000 and $200,000 per year. Their laboratory technicians earn the same and enjoy air conditioning. Story 38. Not sure if this is completely accurate, but a man who worked at the docks in Charleston, South Carolina, said that longshoremen who operate the cranes earn up to $300,000 a year. Story 39. Garbage man and waste management. Here I am working hard as an emergency room nurse. The city next to me offers the same pay, better benefits, and a retirement pension, all for the same salary. I say this as a positive and for a moment considered a career change. Those workers deserve every penny they earn, if not more. Story 40. Radiation protection at a nuclear power plant typically requires a 2-year degree. The current maximum pay is $56 per hour. Most jobs in the nuclear industry pay well, even at entry level. If you can pass a background check and are willing to abstain from drug use, you can earn between $150,000 and $200,000 annually. Story 41. The real question is, what jobs pay well and have a shortage of workers? Many jobs pay well but are hard to enter. Others are being eliminated. So the real question is, where are the high-paying jobs of tomorrow? Story 42. My ex owns a couple of shops, and many of his mechanics earn well over $100,000 a year. Story 43. The people who hold stop and slow signs at roadworks, known as traffic controllers, earn an average of 48.93 Australian dollars per hour, with higher rates for night, weekend, or public holiday work. Story 44. Poker dealers work on tips. They typically make $5 to $6 per hour, but on good nights, they can earn $300 to $500. Story 45. Jobs that you cannot see usually involve underwater work. I have always been curious about the people who install pipes and lines in the ocean. Story 46. Railroads, you are away from your family a lot and work most holidays, but $100,000 to $200,000 is common where I am at. Story 47. Table games dealer. At some casinos, they earn six figures. Story 48. My friend runs his own carpet cleaning business and makes a lot of money. Story 49. Honestly, landscaping and ground maintenance. I make $60,000 a year and I run a mower most days. Occasionally, there are intense days with a lot of physical labor, but most days are relaxed. At the end of the day, it is still a job most people do after retirement, and I get paid well to do it. Story 50. Tugboat pilot. $500,000 to $1 million a year, depending on hours. Master of local waterways, bringing barges to port. Story 51. Pastor of a large church. I do not hear of many doctors or lawyers who have their own private jets, but I often hear about large church pastors flying around in them. Story 52. Court reporters can earn six figures simply by typing quickly, and the shortage is so severe that some courts are delaying trials because they cannot find one. Story 53. Forensic cleaners, but it can be extremely traumatizing. Story 54. Overnight hospital maintenance. I was making $30 an hour just to be on call for the night. You probably get about 3 to 4 calls a night. I was sleeping for at least 5 to 6 hours per night. Amazing benefits and a very strong union that regularly goes on strike for higher wages. You do not need any formal education, and the overtime is unlimited. I was earning over $5,000 a month. Story 55. Depends on what you define as paying extremely well. I make $100,000 working as a United States licensed customs broker. There are fewer than 15,000 of us nationwide. Come join our industry. We are short-handed. Story 56. Designer and program coordinator for marching bands. Takes a lot of work for 6 months out of the year, but you can build a great life designing flags and staging flute soloists. Story 57. There are many jobs with a wide range of salaries that fit this question well. For example, as a therapist, I make $300 per hour, but there are also therapists who make less than $50,000 per year. Story 58. I am a musician, not a famous one. I don't play my own music for money, just other people's. I perform at events and bars. I earn over $150,000, which surprises people. I bought a house last year. For some reason, people think I'm homeless when I tell them I'm a musician, but usually, I make more than they do. My job is easy, fun, and I make my own schedule. Story 59. Event coordinator. Work remotely from home. Earn over $200,000 a year with excellent benefits. Only pay $20 for health insurance. The company matches 40% of your retirement savings plan. Story 60. Mortgage loan officer for a home builder earns $300,000 to $400,000 on average. This is an unusually high amount for the actual work involved. Story 61. Being an actuary is very difficult. This line of work is not well known, so I do not know if it even qualifies for this post. Judging by the answers, only jobs that are familiar to the average person are being included. Story 62. Honestly, people think high-paying jobs equal doctor, lawyer, or technology professional. But the real money is hidden in jobs nobody talks about. Ditch diggers, linemen, plumbers, elevator technicians, garbage collectors, they're all quietly making $150,000 to $250,000 because no one wants to do dirty or risky work. Infrastructure emergencies do not wait for business hours. Overtime accumulates quickly when pipes burst at 3 a.m. My friend is an elevator mechanic with a high school diploma and earned $190,000 last year. Another friend fixes gas leaks and made $160,000 being on call. My lineman neighbor earned $240,000 after working on hurricane repairs. Here is the thing. These jobs are recession-proof. People always need power, water, and working elevators. While technology workers get laid off, these workers keep cashing checks. The job society looks down on pay well if you stick with them. The popular jobs everyone wants, such as journalism, teaching, and entry-level corporate positions, pay poorly because too many people want them. Most employers will train you and pay for certifications. No college debt, just show up ready to work. Bottom line, if you can handle getting dirty and working odd hours, there is a whole world of six-figure jobs people ignore while chasing social media-worthy careers that barely pay rent. Story 63. My son is a server at a high-end steakhouse. He makes $4,000 to $5,000 a week. He worked at another restaurant for 5 years, which earned a Michelin star. He was then contacted by his current employer and offered a job. It seems restaurants want servers with Michelin-level experience. He likes his job because he gets to create new cocktails, but when asked what he does, he says, "I am a server." Story 64. Not a job per se, but owning local businesses can be quite lucrative. We are talking about carpet companies, car dealerships, pharmacies, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning services, window companies, and more. Story 65. I worked as an emergency dispatcher. I was recently promoted to the administrative side. When I was answering calls, I earned $42 per hour. No college degree was needed, just the ability to type quickly and occasionally be prepared to hear some disturbing content. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.